Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show with your hosts Lee Silber and Ellen Goodwin.
Welcome to the show. I'm your co-host Ellen Goodwin, along with my co-host
MacGyver.
MacGyver.
See the mullet?
The new MacGyver or the old MacGyver?
I like the old MacGyver.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too. Because you know what? Resourceful.
Yes.
If there was a key word to describe MacGyver, it's resourceful.
I'm more like MacGruber, the guy that was on Saturday Night Live that blew everything up. He was inefficient.
So,
do you remember that?
I do. So we are still on our 7-part series of the 7 habits of highly efficient people. And habit number 5 is being resourceful.
Yeah. Problem solvers.
Problem solvers. And there's lots of ways you can do that. One of my favorites is to make a list of things that pop up during the day and try and distract you. Let's say I'm focused on something. I'm doing some writing. And as I'm doing that, a little voice in my head says, "Ooh, you need to call the dentist." Well, if I'm not being resourceful, I stop and I call the dentist because after all, the little voice in my brain said I had to. And I get distracted. I'm not writing. But if I'm resourceful, I just go, "Oh, I have a pad of paper right next to me, and I write that down. Remember to call the dentist." And I will do that when I am done focusing and writing. So you make a list of things that are going to distract you. That's resourceful.
Well, if MacGyver or MacGruber had no tools to work with, then they would have. Well, they
wouldn't be resourceful.
You couldn't do it without a paper clip,
No.
Rubber band and some tinfoil, but whatever. What my philosophy has always been, better to be looking at it than looking for it.
Right.
And so there's like in my car, I have a few simple tools, multi-tools. And so, yes, so something happens, instead of me either getting stuck or not being able to finish what I'm doing or having to drive to go by, I have some tools to fix it. And that could apply to anything, not just in your car, in your home, or in your workplace. It could apply to in your laptop, your phone. Having some tools so that when something goes wrong or something breaks or something goes haywire, you have the ability to combine your inner MacGyver, your resourcefulness, with the proper tools to help you. So when I say better to be looking at than looking for it, I mean, that just means putting stuff in your trunk. Winter, you put some salt if you're living in the cold weather, and a shovel, flares. You just have the basics.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Exactly. And I think another thing we do is that keep our future self in mind. It's exactly what you're doing. Keeping your future self, what could go wrong? And we anticipate that could be, just an obstacle. But with ourselves, we anticipate self-sabotage and come up with a plan to prevent that. So something in this case might be, it's hard sometimes to save money. If you have to go, every month I'm going to move this amount of money into savings. What happens? It doesn't happen. But if you know that your future self is going to appreciate having that money in savings, then be resourceful. Go to the bank, call the bank up, set up automatic savings. Okay, every month on the 10th, this amount of money comes out of checking, goes to savings. It seems like a simple thing, but if we can prevent self-sabotage, be resourceful for our own selves, we're going to appreciate it more when our future self is going to do that.
Yeah, and sometimes, going back to MacGruber and MacGyver, it seems like, wait, haven't I seen this before? Sometimes when we've solved problems, I keep an idea journal. But I also keep, for instance, I was in an elevator one time and some strangers all got in, and I said, what did I say? Something to the effect like, I've been meaning to call this. I've been meaning to get you all together here to talk about this. And they all looked at me, what the heck? And they laughed, and it made the ride go quicker.
Uh-huh.
It worked better than what I just did. But you get the picture. So I wrote that down as like I started in my little idea book, things to say in an elevator. So then it seems spontaneous, like I'll come up with like 4 different things, or someone in one of my speeches is walking out when I used to scream and yell at them. Now I have clever things to say. So it makes you seem resourceful and spontaneous and smart when actually you're just either using something you saw someone else use that worked, or you're using something that worked for you. It's proven.
Yes.
And it saves time, which is efficient.
That's resourceful. That you know,
Yeah,
rather
resourceful.
than letting it just float by and having to recreate the wheel each time, you've got it there. You've got it written down. You've got it in your head. Another thing that's super resourceful is that you spend time getting better at things that you do all the time. You know, maybe that is on the computer, learning shortcuts or finding different apps that are going to help you do things much more quickly. So if it takes you 20 minutes to do today and you know you're going to do it next week, it's going to take 15 minutes. That's resourceful. You look at repetitive tasks and figure out how you can be better at them.
And I just had this happen recently where I didn't ask enough questions before trying to solve the problem. Meaning, to solve a problem, sometimes you have to really understand what it is and what outcome you're seeking.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
just jumped in and assumed that this is what they wanted. It wasn't exactly what they wanted, so I had to redo it. And so resourcefulness sometimes is, asking, be more curious about things so that you better understand it and better solve it. So it seems like you need to slow down to speed up, and that is exactly what I'm saying. The measure twice, cut once. Sometimes it pays to slow down first, understand what you're trying to fix and solve and make better, and then jump in.
Along those lines is asking what's important in this situation, because you could be solving for X when really it's solving for Y.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, this is one we do at home all the time, because there'll be a situation where it's like, okay, we could do this or we're trying to do this, but what's important in this situation? You might think this is the answer we need, but that doesn't really address the problem. When we were planning to go on vacation, we were looking at hotels. Okay, what's important in this situation? Is it the amenities? Is it the location? Is it the price? 9 times out of 10, it was the location. So you just pick, what's important in this situation? The location. It's resourceful. You're not solving for the wrong
There's some problems
answer.
that don't need solving. Yeah,
Exactly.
or doing it the wrong way to start with, like I did. Don't do what I did.
Be resourceful. Don't be like Lee.
Yeah, then I really had to get my MacGyver to fix it after I broke it.
So the 5th habit is to be resourceful. Be with us next week when we look at the 6th habit of highly efficient people.